Hey guys, I'm Rob Robillard and welcome to Green to Great interview series. In this series, one of our Toolbox Buzz crew members, Wes Bartosik, and I will take turns interviewing folks in the trades. We'll be talking about and promoting the trades, talking to business owners and grooming apprentices. Today's guest is Wayland Yeager. Pronounced like Jägermeister, makes me think of Jägermeister, but not in a good way. Let's just forget about that. Anyway, Wayland is a president and CEO of Audio Experts in Iowa. He is 40 years old and he started his business when he's 23 years old. Talk about a fire breather. His wife is the main installer and trainer for their company. The two of them together are just an absolute dynamic duo, and it was a lot of fun to chat. They currently have 11 employees and 2 locations in Iowa, and they're hiring. Wayland started as a residential audio-video contractor and eventually ventured into commercial work. They do things like security, internet surveillance, lighting controls, motorized interior shades, all kinds of connectivity stuff and motorized insect screen type stuff. Anyway, a lot of fun. Let's just jump right in and talk to Wayland. Hey, Wayland, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
Good, man. I'm going to turn the volume up a bit. So, Wayland, tell us a little bit about what you do and that cool stuff behind you there.
Well, thank you. We are a low voltage technology integrator based out of Dubuque, Iowa. We install everything in a home or a business that would be low voltage, including audio, video products, motorized shades, lighting control systems, security, surveillance systems.
Cool.
Motorized insect screens, a lot of really cool stuff.
So what trade would that be categorized in? Are you an electrician, low voltage, or?
Low voltage.
Low voltage.
So we're classified under a low voltage license.
Okay. And then that was my next question is, what kind of licensing do you need for low voltage?
Currently, the state of Iowa requires a security license for doing intrusion and fire systems. But as far as the other products that we sell or install, there is no license required at this time.
Okay. All right.
Other states do vary.
Now you're doing residential and commercial, correct?
Correct.
Do you have a preference?
Ooh, that's a good question, Rob. Yeah. I really don't. Yeah. We've done some really cool commercial projects that have kept us engaged, and we do some amazing homes. So I got to say, it's a 50-50 for me.
Well, you shared with me that video of that screen going up. What project was that? That was very cool. It was a business, I imagine.
So that is a video wall that we're currently working on, and it's a 3x3 video wall, 4K. It's got 9 55-inch televisions going in, and they're going to use it for digital signage. 9 55-inch televisions that make one screen. That's correct.
Oh, that's amazing. So, Wayland, tell me, how did this? You're the owner of this company at 23 years old. Super impressive, right? How did this all start? How did you get into the trades?
That's a great question. So when I was 18 years old, I graduated high school and I was just bumming around. I was into car stereos. I was that typical kid that didn't know what they wanted to do after high school. I happened to stop into a car stereo shop and I applied and they converted me. And we eventually got into the home stuff. I started selling the big speakers and the big TVs and it just grew on me and I slowly kind of got away from the car stuff.
Do you remember Blaupunk?
Oh, definitely.
I had one in my car. I had a Chrysler LeBaron. I swear it was stolen. A friend of mine sold it to me cheap. I was like, this was awesome. Great stereo. So you got into this business, 23 years old. That's pretty brazen. That's badass, man. I love that. You were focused. You started this business. You now have 11 employees. What is your plan for expansion? Do you plan on getting bigger, or you have 2 locations, right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. So we have a business in Marion, Iowa, and then we have a business in Dubuque, Iowa. We want to start a 3rd location.
No kidding. All
right. That's a big want for us. Right now, it's really hard to get help.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We discussed that.
Every business is going through that, in the trade business, but we definitely want to grow our 2 businesses that we have now and definitely want to open up that 3rd location.
Well, so 2 locations, you bounce probably back and forth. You probably go to one location more than the other. What is your role there? Are you doing the office work? Are you estimating? Are you in the field? What are you doing nowadays?
So personally, I am the jack of all. I start out my day in the office trying to figure out what everybody's going to go as far as what jobs need the most attention.
Yep.
There are some days that I will go out and personally install, do some programming, visit with the clients, do a lot of walkthroughs. If we're doing a project, I need to walk through with an electrician, or the builder, or the client.
What's your favorite part of all that?
Oh, meeting with the clients.
You enjoy the chatting and the talk and getting to know people, all that.
There is no question about it. I love the interaction between the client and building that dream system.
Yeah, I think I think personally, and I know it's probably the same for all businesses, but it's all about relationships nowadays. And as you build those relationships, you get the word of mouth referrals, you get the repeat business. So I do think there's an opportunity when you meet with clients to really sell yourself and show them who you are and be professional and build those relationships.
Oh, there is no doubt about it. That's my favorite part of the business, and it will always be my favorite part of the business.
So I kind of asked this a little bit earlier, but what kind of projects would you say are the most profitable for your line of work? Is commercial because you're doing bigger, like 955-inch televisions, or is it residential?
Residential new construction. They're the most predictable to quote out. There's a lot less pop-up problems, stuff like that on a new residential project.
Well, I would imagine new residential's easy. It's open, but remodeling might be a little harder, right? You're fishing wires.
Very hard to quote.
Chases, whatever you can find. You get your wires somewhere, right? Remodeling is my wheelhouse, and I know all the tricks and all that, but I also know all the aggravation that comes with it. So, so what kind of opportunities or business most comes your way? What do you get the most calls for? Like what's trending right now?
Well, right now there's a tremendous demand for Wi-Fi products. When we started going into COVID,
yep,
with all the homeschooling, the parents working from home, a lot of people realized their Wi-Fi wasn't going to be fast enough. So we've upgraded a lot of Wi-Fi networks for Zoom, this very call that we're on right now.
Yeah.
Our customers or clients, their kids, they needed to be able to communicate. They needed this technology. So there has been a tremendous demand for Wi-Fi products.
Do you do the stuff like, I think the people call pucks or whatever, it boosts your Wi-Fi in the house?
So you're thinking of the mesh networks. Yes, we do get into that. And then we also get into the access points and the bigger Wi-Fi networks.
But remind me, Wayland, I want to talk to you about that offline because I have trouble getting internet in my shop. And I often want to do like a YouTube live or a Facebook live in my shop, and it's sketchy. So, so hey, tell the audience, I know you mentioned it early on, but tell them where you're located. And then I want to ask you if you could talk about where your business takes you. So if you're located in your town, are you mostly working in your town, or how far are you traveling?
So as we mentioned before, I am in Dubuque, Iowa. We have another location in Marion, Iowa. Most of our work is within 120 to 150 miles of Dubuque. We will travel about 2 hours. Sometimes we'll go a little farther depending on the project. I do have commercial clients that will ask us to go farther. Just for the relationship, as you mentioned before, the relationship is everything.
Some are worth the trip. What are your hours like if you get 2 hours traveling each way? Are you staying overnight out there, or
we typically will stay overnight?
Okay, all right, that makes
2 hours. You really either got to work a really long day, or you just stay overnight.
Oh yeah, it's a 14+ hour day if that. Tell me, what kind of long-term careers? This conversation, where this is going. We're going to talk about the trade gap, and we're going to talk about apprentices and getting people in the trades, promoting the trades. But what kind of long-term opportunities are there in your line of business or your business in general for a person in your area where you work?
Well, I will say this: technology is growing at such a pace in our homes, in our businesses, that there is an unlimited potential right now in this business. There really is. From the very entry-level position of pulling wire to a programmer to a project manager. And of course, there's a shortage of owners. I mean, there's a lot of people that have retired. So there's a lot of businesses that have just closed because there just hasn't been enough young people to get into these businesses.
Yeah. Do you think, well, obviously you mentioned it earlier, I think actually you did. You're feeling the skills gap, obviously, right? You're seeing lack of qualified people. Yeah. So with the lack of qualified people out there. Actually, it's not just lack of qualified people. It's kind of lack of anybody, because even people who just want to learn the business, nobody's knocking the doors down, it seems, these days. An interesting stat I heard a while back was, the average contractor is 54 years old. I'm 53. And for every 5 contractors retiring, baby boomers and Gen X's, there's 1 replacement. So
I believe that.
We have to rethink how we do things, be more efficient, really actively recruit. So speaking of recruiting or the next generation, right, the new workers, what qualities do you look for in a new hire? When someone comes to you?
The big qualities that we're looking for is a self-starter, somebody that has drive, somebody that's willing to go beyond the next step. We're also looking for honesty. We're in a home. We want to make sure our employees are not stealing anything and they're telling the truth to the customers or clients. So, those are huge traits. Just somebody that can literally pick up the ball and run with it.
Yeah, that's hard these days. But you'll train that, right? You would train that.
Absolutely.
I can imagine. Integrity is everything. I work in people's homes too. We work in homes that are inhabited, remodeling in place a lot of times. And I can imagine if you're putting in home smart systems and home systems in houses, you're working in, $800 million, $1.2 million houses, right? Your market.
Every day.
Yeah. I can imagine you're in some nice houses because you're doing really cool stuff. I'm looking at your showroom, right? In your office.
Yes.
Is that your office or is that just a backdrop?
It is definitely my office.
Because there's some cool backdrops. I could put the Golden Gate Bridge behind me right now, but I don't. So when would you consider hiring somebody with no experience if they came to you and just looking for a job, they're a hard worker and they want to try it out?
I would definitely hire somebody with no experience as long as they exhibited the skills that drive to learn. The biggest issue we have is you can hire people, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they don't have that. They might not have that drive. And in this business, I need somebody to take it to the next level. Our clients are definitely hiring us to go to the next level, to think outside the box. And I need the employees to do the same thing.
Are you training them at all? Is there a mentorship program, or is it you that trains them, or do you have a foreman who trains them? How's that work?
So my wife and I are both involved in the business, and I know this is the part we didn't discuss, and you're going to laugh at this. So
you have to call her boss.
So when I started the business, I know you're going to laugh. Take it easier. So when I started the business, I was the sole employee, right? I was the guy out doing the sales, doing the installs, doing the paperwork, everything you'd imagine.
Yeah.
As the company grew, I trained my wife into the business. And as my role kind of shifted more into the management and the sales and the company, just running the company, she's been doing a lot of the installations.
Awesome.
She's been doing some of the training.
Yep.
So some of those pictures I sent you earlier, she was definitely
on that install. Yeah.
On those installs. Exactly.
Wow. That's awesome. So she's the trainer, the mentor. Would it be helpful if someone came to you with a level of education or certain certifications or anything like that? Do you look for anything like that, or it doesn't matter?
We do, actually. So in our industry, there's 2 organizations that we're looking for. There is CEDIA, and they have some certifications that you can sign up for if you go to their website. It's a great resource for low voltage AV installers. And then the ESA, which is Electronic Security Association, that is another website for security installers. And it does a great job of training.
Do you have them do that? They would come to you with those certifications, or you would send them out for those certifications, I'd imagine, right?
On a normal year, yes.
Yeah, right.
The COVID restrictions, obviously, it's made it a little difficult for that. But yes, we definitely want to get our installers out there to some of these trainings, the trade shows, to get them really excited about the product and then engaging into the product.
Now, with new employees, would you prefer someone with maybe a college education? Do you find they're a little more well-rounded, writing skills, stuff like that? Or could you take someone right out of high school, train them up your way, and then send them off into the field?
I am not necessarily looking for any college education. The skills that we just talked about earlier are way more important to me than a piece of paper showing that they have a college degree.
Right. Do you? I would imagine someone who is tech savvy would be useful.
Yes.
What about computer skills? Is that you find that
Yes.
programming stuff?
Another great attribute to what we're doing is that IT background. Just for the Wi-Fi networking, most of these new smart home systems are definitely connecting through the home network as well.
Yeah, lots of Bluetooth and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Is there a trade school program that focuses on what you guys do?
That's a tough one. So there was a school in Florida. I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But there was a school in Florida, and I believe they had another school in Minnesota that had direct relation into our industry. But most of our stuff is really coming from the CEDIA or ESA industry associations.
I remember growing up, there was a school that, there's tons of commercials. There was ITT Technical Institute or something like that. I don't know if that was for IT or if it was for low voltage stuff, but I was just wondering if that was the school in Florida.
I have heard of it, and I am not real familiar with what they're doing these days.
So tell me, what three things should a young person know the first day that they're on the job with you, working with you?
Ooh, well, be here on time.
Yeah,
leave
right.
Leave the phone at home.
Yeah, or in the truck, right? Leave it back
and dress appropriately.
Yeah.
Dress appropriately. And you may experience this. I know this isn't going to come as a shock, but a lot of the employees I've hired over the years don't know they're afraid of heights until you make them crawl up a ladder. No kidding.
Wow.
No kidding. The first extension ladder, you send them up, they're like, oh.
They missed the bottom step. I'm going to guess your t-shirt you're in, I'm going to guess you probably provide a uniform shirt or something, right? For professionalism. I do that. I have a whole list of expectations I give people on before day one, but I provide them with shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, jackets. They usually, get some sort of work pants, jeans, whatever. But I don't want anything ripped or holey or torn or dirty or soiled. So you want people looking professional day one. And I kind of dictate that by providing them that stuff and giving them those rules ahead of time. So you said your wife does a lot of the training. How does she go about her teaching? How does she train someone who has no skills? Where do you start with a blank slate? Comes to you day one.
In our business, you start with pulling wire. So, and identifying what you're pulling. And there's so many different types of wire, specialties and whatnot, security wire, speaker wire,
fire alarm, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Fire alarm, Ethernet, all that different stuff. Mm-hmm. So we got to start out with the very basics. What a single gang box is, a double gang box.
So they're probably assigned to your wife or to another senior installer for X number of days, weeks, whatever, doing different things to learn skill up. You don't do anything in-house like training, do you?
We try to when we're slower.
You do. You have opportunity. You might have some in-house training. I think that's
smart. The last 3 to 4 years have been tough. We've been very, very busy for the last 3 to 4 years. So we haven't had that opportunity other than those extremely cold days where we don't want to work outside.
Well, that's the other thing. You're working in new construction. It's Iowa. It's cold in the winter, right? I mean, you're working in cold temperatures. Maybe the builders got some propane heaters or something going, but you're working just like the framers and the carpenters.
It's pretty rare that we see heat in a house that we're wiring.
Yeah, unless you're remodeling it or in a remodel situation. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how can we as business owners, how can we do our part to help with the skills gap? I mean, I think a video like this is good, getting people to understand that there's a low voltage trade and there's a company in Iowa if they're in your area. I think that's a good start. I think having discussions like this is good, but how can we do a better job at recruiting, attracting interested young people to your trade, my trade, stuff like that? Have you thought about that?
I have. I've actually put a lot of thought into this. You really struck a chord with this series that you're doing for us. And I really think it starts at school. I think we need to get into the high schools, and we really need to get, that old saying, get shot back into the school system.
Yep.
I think it wouldn't hurt for us to start going to the schools and start educating some of these kids that there is a future for them that doesn't have to involve a 4-year college.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, for 3 decades, my parents included, pushed us towards college, away from the trades. I went towards it on my own, but we were steered away from it. Hell, when I was in high school, it was the junkies and drunkies went to the vocational school. You know what I mean? It was, and flunkies. It's like if you couldn't make high school, they made you go to the Voc, and that was wrong. I mean, we're laughing. It was wrong. That also gave the trades a bad name for many years, because a lot of the tradesmen, they might have been good mechanics, but they were terrible businessmen, or they were drunks or drinking or drugging or whatever, or didn't show up or didn't answer the calls when, they weren't as professional. So I think today's contractors, at least the ones that I'm meeting, a lot of like-minded people, are way more professional when they're trying to bring those trades up. I did want to just touch upon you before we talk about a little bit more about this skills gap. What kind of salary pay benefits could somebody going into your trades starting level expect to make, and then maybe as they move up through your business?
That's a great question, Rob. Most of the guys that are going to start out in our industry as a wire puller or a laborer are going to start out around $15 an hour. All the industry books or in magazines are quoting about $15 to $16 an hour. As you get more years of experience, as you go up the chain, from the wire puller to an integrator, programmer, project manager, you're going to start looking at 50, 75, and even as a senior programmer, you're probably going to make over $100,000 a year.
Nice. How long does it take though to get there in, say, your business, your company?
That really depends on you and your ability to learn in the drive.
How fast they go.
I've seen guys learn this business really quickly, and I've seen guys that are still pulling wire after 5 or 10 years. So, I think a lot of it's going to be the drive and what you're willing to do to promote yourself and take yourself to the next level.
So I got to ask you, $15 an hour is pretty low. I know I get people coming to me all the time asking for work, and everybody wants $30 an hour to start. All these carpenters. I'm a carpenter at $30 an hour to start, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of them aren't worth it. They're not that good, but that's the going rate. That's what they want.
I think it depends on where you're at in the country, though.
It does. So
we're in a pretty rural area here, so. And obviously when I'm speaking, these are probably a couple years old, these statistics, it might even be $20 an hour to start. But I remember when I was 18 years old and I was working for $6 and $7 an hour.
I remember. Yeah. Do you think that that's a place where we can do better as business owners? Maybe we entice them with a sign-on bonus or a better salary, or, for example, benefits. Do you offer your employees benefits and stuff like that?
Yes, we do. So we have a health, dental, vision,
nice.
So, paid vacation, employee discount. We get a lot of those benefits here that we've used to retain employees and gain employees as well.
Do you get good feedback from your employees on that kind of stuff? They like the benefits?
Honestly, most of these kids at 20 years old, 19 years old, don't know what they're worth.
They just want the money.
Yeah, the money is really the thing. They could care less about the benefits.
You start getting someone coming to you as a kid, though, it's different. So they start thinking about health insurance. Vision's a big deal. Even discounts, it could be good. But I just started doing 401k with my guys, and I match up to 3%. And it was funny. Three guys going. Two of them could care less. The guy with kids loved it, because he's thinking about retirement, right? So he's thinking long term. So it depends on who it is. I've had new guys come in and say they don't want health insurance because their wife has health insurance, but they want more money. So we negotiate that. What other things have you tried to get people to come to you? How are you advertising?
So currently we use Facebook and Indeed.
Okay.
And I've had really good luck with Facebook, and I've had really good luck with Indeed. I've also worked with our local community college. I kind of reached out to them and seen if they had any people that have come to them looking for that sort of thing.
Do they have an IT program there or something, or computer program where you could maybe
they have computer science, but not much more than that there. And our field is very specialized, so it's really tough to really train somebody directly into what our field is without going directly to a manufacturer or one of those trade associations.
I find that Indeed, I get a lot of leads. I mean, I don't know if you're paying for it or not. I usually throw $50 to $100 on it for a week or so. And I find I get a lot of leads, and I'll set up interviews, and I do in-person interviews. I screen first. I ask for a resume on purpose. I ask for certain things on purpose. They're all tests, right? You're trying to see if they do it. And then I set up an interview. 50-50. I get blown off 50% of the time. And I don't know if it's just the caliber of carpenters or what, but how are you doing? Are you seeing a 50-50 or better when people set up an interview?
I think a lot of people are looking to put their name in, for unemployment. I think it's really easy to just say, oh, I tried, they didn't get back to me. So I think that right now, especially, I think there is a lot of people that just want to say, hey, we put our name there, but we never heard from them.
Well, with unemployment, especially through COVID, I mean, they were given $600 a week. Was it a week or a month or whatever it was? They were making more money on unemployment than they were on their regular jobs, some of them.
Yes,
so
definitely.
They don't want to go back to work.
And that's what's making it challenging, right? So we got ultra low interest rates. We're seeing a boom in home building. Everybody's got a basement project or a remodel project or a construction project. So the demand is skyrocketing, right?
Yeah.
Now, the carpenters, the electricians, the plumbers, all these different trades are looking for people, and it's so tough.
Yeah, it is hard. Well, it's a struggle. We're trying to find the answers for it. We're trying to promote. I do think the Facebook, the Indeed is good. Your website is good. Doing stuff like this, I think, is good. Do you ever have career? COVID's weird, but pre-COVID, post-COVID, career days at high schools, colleges, and like NARI and MNARI and some of those companies. NARI is the Remodeling Institute National Association for Remodeling Industries. They have career days where 300, 400, 500 kids go through. I show up every year. We show up for Toolbox Buzz, but we also talk about promoting the trades. And it might be a good opportunity if you found one of those fairs.
I haven't done anything like that so far, but I definitely would be interested in doing one.
You'd have to travel. I mean, I would probably look at your your associations that you belong to, and lean on them to see if they have anything like that. But I'd also reach out to that college and maybe local high schools, the local vocational high school. See if you could go in and talk to the students in the electrical class or the IT or computer class, because I think if FaceTime's important. So I'm on the advisory committee for Minuteman Tech in Lexington, right, a couple towns over, and I help with the curriculum. But I also go in and talk to the kids, and I talk about all kinds of topics. I usually pick a topic, and it's always about promoting them or what to expect the first day, or what different things they could expect as an apprentice, and what that pathway might be. And but you got to be proactive and reach out. I think that's what we have to do now. We have to, no longer are they knocking on the doors looking for work. We've got to be a little bit more proactive to do it. So that leads me to my last question. Are you hiring? And if yes, how does somebody get in touch with you?
So yes, we are hiring right now. And as I said, the possibilities are unlimited, whether it's with me, one of my competitors, or just any AV business in this country right now. If you go online, so many different AV companies are looking for help right now. If you were interested in contacting me personally, you can get my information off our website, which is www.audioexpertsinc.com.
Well, what I'll do, I'll definitely put that on the bottom screen when I do the editing, and I'll put it in the video description as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really cool talking to you, and I actually learned a little bit about audio stuff. And I think you and I are going to have a conversation offline about my mesh system. All right. So just to reiterate, if you'd like to learn more about Wayland and his company, go to audioexpertsinc.com. Guys, I'm Rob Robillard, and we'll see you next time here at Green to Great, where we're going to interview our very own Todd Fratzel. Todd is the editor and owner of Toolbox Buzz, my partner, but he's also a project manager and structural engineer with United Construction up in New Hampshire. Thanks for joining us today, Wayland, and thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the next video.
Thank you.
All right, take care, buddy.
Thanks.
Guys, everybody that I speak to these days has the exact same story. Good help is hard, no, impossible to find. And there is that's what they call the skilled trade gap that people are talking about, right? We are now 2 or 3 generations into a world where American high school students have shifted their focus to preparing students for a 4-year college rather than a vocational trade. Right now, 53% of skilled trade workers are over the age of 45 years old. The trades have become an older profession as baby boomers and some Gen Xers near the retirement age. I'm one of them. We need to direct and mentor young people toward the trades. What can we be doing better? Well, for one thing, we can treat the trades as a career rather than a job, and we should be treating our employees better as well. The Toolbox Buzz crew wants to show people what you do and share your stories and your talent. We want to get that message out about being productive and successful individual while learning a valuable trade skill. Are you interested in being part of our interviews? We're going to be doing a series of interviews talking about all this stuff. If you are, DM me or contact me at info@concordcarpenter.com. Thanks, guys.